I want to thank you guys, and we're going to talk about um, information today that has to do with your goals, your desires, and the things that you want to accomplish. So, for me, I was always broke. I wanted to get rich, and you know, I know that you guys have been jumping on the car every day, and I want you guys to understand that it's not difficult to get this information. It's not difficult at all. What it is you have to let me in your mind, okay? And what I mean by that is that the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a penny and $1 million. It's our paradigms and our belief system that create our reality. So just take a chance on this information. Give me a chance to help you, okay? Give me a chance to explain my story and my failures so that way you can learn from me, okay? I'm just like you. I'm not better than you. We're all the same. I'm not better than Bob Proctor, and Bob Proctor is not better than any of us, okay? This phone is kind of funny because like I zoom out, like I don't know, it's kind of weird, but it will be posted on the YouTube channel on Wealth Mindset Group. So what I mean by give me a chance is like there's always when you talk to people, there's even me when I hear things, I don't really kind of internalize it. And when you internalize this information, you wonder how it can happen. Now, my journey is different than yours. I made a million, 1.75 million minus expenses. So, I made over a million by 2017. The way I did it is I did what Napoleon Hill told me. And Napoleon Hill told me to grab a notebook and write down what I wanted to do, right? So I did that. I put that in a notebook. And in the beginning, I used logic to accomplish my goal. We all do this. And I want you to understand that do not let your intellect control the way you think. Do not let your logic control the way you think. Because if you do, you're never going to go for the big goals. Okay. So when in 2010, when I started listening to Napoleon Hill, I already had watched the movie The Secret by Bob Proctor. And Bob Proctor was one of them. The person that did it was Rhonda Byrne, an Australian, I think she's an author. She created The Secret, The Law of Attraction. But where they really got all the information, even Bob Proctor and Earl Nightingale and Leland Van Vanderwalt, was the Science of Getting Rich book. Okay. So, for anyone that's watching on YouTube, excuse me because the video is a little bit blurry, but my voice is the most important part about this information. So this is the Science of Getting Rich book by Wallace Wattles. Okay, I'm gonna try to. So this is the book, The Science of Getting Rich. So disregard the blurriness. Excuse me, guys, for the technical difficulties. So this was 2010. And I had went through a car accident and I almost died and I almost killed someone else in the process. So you talk about a wake-up call. There's only two ways to change a paradigm. And now I'm going to talk real fast because I want you guys to get this information. So in 2010, I go through this DUI accident and I almost killed someone. So I'm looking at his parents disappointed in me that I almost killed their son, right? The guy was like 27 years old and he had 4 kids and he's in a coma and I'm in the other room in the hospital with handcuffs. This was in 2010. So after going through that situation, I said, why am I a failure if I went to school just like my sister did? So the paradigm follows you in your family. If your brother or sister were millionaires, you'll be a millionaire. If your uncle was a millionaire, you'll be a millionaire. But if you come from, you know, a family that didn't know about this information, like the most my dad has ever made was like 70,000 pounds or dollars, and he worked construction. No one knew any better. So yes, the law of attraction is real. The movie The Secret is real. Like Oprah Winfrey is talking about this stuff, all excited with Tony Robbins, right? This stuff is real. But it's like, where are you getting this information from? And the funny part about it is you'll never talk to somebody like me. The only way to talk to somebody like me is by talking to maybe Bob Proctor and a few other people, maybe consultants with our company. But as a certified consultant, the only thing certified about me is being a millionaire and wealthy and happy and healthy, because you are what you say. Now, that doesn't make me better than you. What it makes me is aware that there is no difference between positive or negative. The energy just is. And its truest nature, it's neither positive nor negative. Your perception, which is a higher faculty, this is where you should be taking notes, but your perception, which is your higher faculty, is what makes it positive or negative. Now, you have, at the truest form, is the energy. You have your mind thinking about thoughts. William James was a professor from Harvard, and he says that you can only hold on to a thought for less than 60 seconds. So you're talking about the most you can hold on to a thought is maybe 30, 45 seconds, then you got to let it go. How do you hold on to a thought? It's called the higher faculty, your will. So I touch perception, I touch will. Now let's touch imagination. What are you thinking about? Now we create a fantasy, we think about how this is going to happen, and we let go of the fantasy and we start using our logic, and we never achieve the ultimate goals because we wonder how. But see, the Wright brothers that got us off the ground and created, an airplane and got us off the ground, they didn't worry about how. They just jumped in. Thomas Edison, when he created the light bulb, he didn't worry about how. He just went through the failures. So the more failures you go through, the more you're in this battle. And who's in control of the battle? You are, because you're the only problem, you're the only solution. And no one is going up against you. The war is not outside. The war is in your mind. The war is with the energy, because you've been living in a state of confusion. You haven't got this information. I don't care if you watch the law of attraction 30,000 times. You'll never get this. That's why you need me as your mentor, and that's why you should be jumping on the calls. So what I'm telling you is like this: fantasy, theory, fact. Stop looking at the facts, controlling it the way you think. Like Wallace Waddle says in The Science of Getting Rich, to think what you want to think is to think truth regardless of appearances. So what's the truth? The truth is you can literally create your own economy. You see, we have 3 levels here, just like Robert Kiyosaki when you're doing the presentation. 3 quadrants, right? The first quadrant, time for money. The second quadrant is money for money, investments. Like maybe you invested in some stocks 10 years ago. That's money for money. The third quadrant is creativity for money, creating an idea and making it and internalizing that idea, connecting to that idea and creating your own economy. So how do you do that? You do that by letting go of your logic. Attorneys use their logic. They're building up a case. They need the facts. But we're not dealing with facts. We're dealing with the creation process. We're dealing with fantasy. Create a plan. The plan doesn't have to be precise. Take it over to the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind will produce the results. How does it do that? In my case, when I started the loan modification clinic, I went from making $5,000 a month to making $50,000 a week. How does that happen? It happens because somebody from the radio came to me and said, hey, I have a radio, a program. I want you to jump on my radio station so you could talk about the loan modifications and how to help people with foreclosure. Now, you talk about history repeating itself. Sometimes it doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. And right now, we're going into a new history. We're going into the same history as before. In 2008, 2009, the stock market crashed. The only difference between then and now is that you have Bitcoin, decentralized finance, like Ethereum, blockchain technology. You have platforms like Hex.com, where you can literally change fiat currencies into digital currencies. So what are we doing right now? We're trading fiat currencies. What are we doing right now? We're building a network. Okay. Your net worth is your net worth. But what are you doing today to participate in the new economy? Who are your best friends? Who are you listening to? Who's your mentor? And I'll tell you right now, I didn't have Napoleon Hill talking to me like I'm talking to you guys. I had Napoleon Hill on YouTube. I had to have faith to listen to this man because I went from zero to hero. I went from no friends to everybody wanted to be my friends. Hey, can you borrow me a couple thousand? That's how this stuff works. You want to be rich? You want to be successful? It's like Napoleon Hill says, be careful what you ask for because it'll be delivered right on schedule. So what is the subconscious mind? William James says you can only have a thought and hold on to it for 45 seconds. Now, you have over 60,000 thoughts per day, but most of those thoughts are not serving you. Now, what happens when you're not thinking? It's called the program. It's called the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is thinking when you're not thinking. The subconscious mind is always thinking. It's your emotional part of your body where your feelings are, with your belief system of what your self-image is. So the point of these calls is to build a new you and to forget the old you, to break you and make you. That's what it's about. It's like after I was convicted and I ended up going to boot camp, the judge is like, look, you're not a criminal. I'm going to send you to a boot camp facility where you're going to be trained by the military. When I went in there, like they broke me. I used to cry to sleep at night. Why cry? Because my palms hurt from so many push-ups. I had to do bends and thrusts with a mule kick and a jump. And if you ever meet me in person, tell me, Ross, show me what a bend, show me what a push-up with a bend and thrust mule kick is. Crazy stuff. I'm sitting there doing push-ups, jumping up and down, going on the floor, doing push-ups, in, out, open, close, down, up, in, out, open, close. You think you paid the price? Oh my God. The stuff that we went through in that facility is horrible. But guess what? I stuck it out. A lot of people will quit. Are you going to quit on your dreams? I don't think so. So you really have to think and you have to leave your logic on the side here. You cannot let your logic control your thinking because if you do, you're sunk, you're done. And what I've learned is never, ever listen to anyone else except myself. And what does that mean? That means going into the fantasy, creating a picture of how you want your life to be, and disregarding everyone else's picture. Disregarding because their picture has nothing to do with your fantasy. Their picture has nothing to do with multiple sources of income, residual income, building a network. That has nothing to do. People are not going to tell you what you want. People are going to tell you what you should do. You should go get a job. You should quit your business. You should stop doing what you're doing because you sound crazy because you're losing all your friends. But it's okay. You know why? Because 5 years from now, they're going to still be giving their time for money. Meanwhile, you're going to be traveling the world because you're going to create M3. What's M3? Fantasy, theory, facts. Fantasy, multiple sources of income. How do you do that? Auto suggestion. Auto suggestion should be written all over your notebook here. What is auto suggestion? I'm so happy and grateful now that I have multiple sources of income that pay me daily. I make more money when I sleep than when I'm awake. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have friends. People are calling me because they want to join my business. My network is growing so much that everybody looks for me. People love me. People know that I'm happy, healthy, and wealthy. They feel it. And everyone participates in my business. Now, I just created an image in your mind of how it would feel to grow your business. And it's an image that maybe you yourself haven't even thought about. But I'm literally creating brain cells of recognition to what? To the fact that you can literally become what you think about. What did Earl Nightingale say in The Strangest Secret? Hi, this is Earl Nightingale. Let me talk to you guys about a secret. He says that when you were in high school and school, you had a twinkle in your eye. But when you went out to the real world, you lost that shine. Why? Because you got humbled real quick. You were shown that your degree didn't mean, excuse my word, your degree didn't mean shit. You know, and I can come here and cuss all I want, F words, you know, this shit, all this shit, right? I don't give a F and I don't give, right? But I'm trying to keep this stuff professional for you guys because I could go retarded with this stuff. I could literally spin your mind around. Because as I'm thinking, I'm talking, and as I'm talking, you're internalizing it. That's why you need a pen. That's why you need a notebook. Look at all these notes, guys. Like, are you taking notes? When you wake up in the morning, are you doing auto suggestion? Are you doing gratitude for 10 minutes? Are you showing thanks for all the things that you currently have right now? Why? Because you're opening up the door for an abundance. In order to be successful, you have to have a mentor. I only have 3 students and they're all making millions of dollars. Why? Because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a penny and $1 million. When my sister got rich, she said, "Why do you always carry this book around with you everywhere? Think and Grow Rich." I said, "There's a secret in this book. And if you do what it's telling you, you can literally have anything you want." I said, "What do you want?" She's like, "Well, we got to get going." That's what you notice in people when you ask them, "What do you really want?" They said, "Oh, you know, if you own a business," which everyone on here has a business, but when you ask people, "What do you really want?" They say, "Well, I don't got time to talk to you about that. Maybe we could talk to you about later." You're always going to find resistance. It's called a foreign vibration. They feel uncomfortable, so they say, "Oh, I'll talk to you later." So when I was telling my sister, "What do you really want?" She's like, she calls me Junior. She's like, "Look, Junior, we got to get going. We'll talk about this later." I said, "No, no, 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 no. We have all the time in the world. What do you really want? Grab this pen." She said, "Okay, fine. I want to make $100,000 a year." I say, "Scratch that. We're going to make 100,000 a month." Why? Because I was already doing that. See, I passed the finish line. So when my sister seen me do that, she wanted to do that as well. So it's like the story in You Were Born Rich, Roger Bannister. He ran a mile in less than a quarter mile in less than 5 minutes. No one could do that. But once he did it, everybody else started doing it. See, once you become a chairman 10 and people around you in your business see you become chairman 10, then they become chairman 10. Once you become a P5000, they become P5000. So it's like Napoleon Hill says, he's like, "There's a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until they believe they can acquire it. There's a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until they believe they can acquire it." What do you believe in? Because William James says, "Believe in your belief, and your belief will literally create the fact." William James, professor from Harvard in the 1900s, he says, "Believe in your belief, and your belief will literally create the fact." So, what is your belief system? Do you believe you can be rich? Do you believe you can be happy, healthy, wealthy? Because that's what we talk about, being happy, healthy, and wealthy. Having a spirit of gratitude. That's what Wallace Wattles talks about in this book. He says in this book, he says, there's a thinking stuff. You can form things in your thought, and by impressing the thought upon formless substance can cause the thing you think about to be created. Right there. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in the substance produces the thing that is imagined by the thought. What is the substance? The subconscious mind. They didn't have a picture of the mind. No one has had a picture of the mind. The mind is not the brain. The brain is in your skull. The mind is in activity, and it's dancing. It's moving at a high speed of vibration. So are you. Just that we can't see that because when Isaac Newton looked into it, he figured out what gravity was. And gravity is what puts us in place. You see, Albert Einstein looked into it through the law of relativity, which is actually one of the 7 principles that Wallace Wattles talks about. And he says the first law is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Now, what did we say energy is? In the spirit world, it's a spirit. Energy just is. It's neither created nor destroyed. It's the cause of and effect of itself. It's 100% evenly present in all places at the same time. Has no past, no future. So when you do the transmutation of energy with your thought, you don't pay any attention how this thing's going to happen. You don't worry about the deadline. What you do is you take action, massive action, and you believe in yourself. And the belief in yourself will literally create the fact, because the energy is intelligent, spirit is intelligent. And there's people that will come to you and participate in that intelligence because it's communicating through everybody into your goal, which is the last law, the law of gender. And the law of gender states that your goal will become real. There's a season to sow, there's a season to reap, but we don't do both in the same season. So your goal will manifest into physical reality. You see, we know what it is for a woman having a child is 9 months. We don't know what it is for a spiritual seed. We know what it is for strawberries and carrots. There's a season for that. But we don't know the last law, which is the law of gender. Okay. We don't know what it is for a spiritual seed. It could take you, in Bob Proctor's case, it took him 30 years, 40, 50 years. When he went to Glenview, Illinois, he grabbed the pen. He was already wealthy. He owned a cleaning business that operated all around the world. He made millions of dollars, but he wanted to know why Napoleon Hill changed his life. So he studied from Napoleon Hill's mentee called Earl Nightingale from The Strangest Street. Earl Nightingale's mentor was Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill's mentor was Andrew Carnegie. Do you have a mentor? Do you believe that I can be your mentor? So, as a mentor, my job is to show you what I'm capable of, to show you that I'm traveling the world. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see beautiful pictures about happy, healthy, and wealthy. Tomorrow, I'll go for a run. Palm trees everywhere, guys. But why is that? Because I do not believe other people's belief system. I believe in what I'm capable of. And guess what? Napoleon Hill says like this: there is no limitation. The only limitation that you place is in your own mind. He says, if you can take possession of your own mind, you can have anything you want. You can have it in abundance. You can have it in abundance. So there is no limitation. The only limitation is the one that you set up in your own mind. And when you understand that, you start to create your own reality. You got to bust through the terror barrier. You got to bust through that brick wall to get to where you want to be. Because why? Because he says if you took possession of your mind, you can have anything you want. But guess what? He says the biggest sin of mankind is. The biggest sin of mankind is failure to take possession of your mind. Because 99% of people let their mind wander off. And these calls are about you controlling your mind. Just like when you go to the gym and you're working out, right? This is going to the gym every single day because you need to be on these calls. If you want to be wealthy, you got to listen, participate into what people are doing. And all you need is a pen. And when you start writing down your life as you want it to be, not as it currently is right now, everything else will change. Because we're not dealing with what we can see, smell, taste, hear, and touch. We're dealing with imagination, reasoning, intuition, perception, memory, and the will, the concentration factor, the will. Imagination, reasoning, intuition, memory, perception, and the will. Imagination, the will, reasoning, intuition, memory, and perception. How much do you know? The more you learn, the more you earn. Tell me who your 5 friends are, like my dad would say. Tell me who your 5 friends are, and I'll tell you where you're going to be. Guess who my 5 friends are? Napoleon Hill, Wallace Waddles, Genevieve Behrend, Thomas Troward, Bob Proctor, more than that. Earl Nightingale. These are my 5 friends. And I even added Tony Robbins to the list because somebody told me Tony Robbins, when you go to a seminar, he'll make you dance on charcoal. He'll make you dance on fire. Okay, great. I'll add Tony Robbins. Great. But like my mentor, Bob Proctor says, Tony only looks out for Tony. Tony's looking out for Tony. Why? Because he's a billionaire. Did Tony start a company that operated all around the world? No, he didn't. Did Tony ever do consultants like Bob Proctor? No, he didn't. My mentor paid the price. 60 years in personal growth and development. So add me to the list, guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope the call was informative. Like I said, all you need is a pen and a piece of paper. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I want to thank you guys for your time. There's 20 people on the call. I'm going to take a screenshot of this and I'm going to post them in the groups. And if you missed this call, like I said, jump on our YouTube channel because all the calls are recorded. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good Wednesday, November 4th, wherever you may be. Talk tomorrow, guys. Peace out.